Hi, how you going? My name is Peter Ranieri. I'm a database developer from Adelaide, and I understand that Shane and Andrew are also from Adelaide. So there you go. But this is a product I've been building in the past month, and it basically allows you to create custom databases. So it's like an enterprise's cloud sort of service. So if we go through here, we can enter the name. So this is a demo I started writing a month ago, but this is all live. And now let's say demo app, and it pretty much creates a live database which you can add columns in and add attributes, and it does it all live. So if we go here, out of the box, it's created the creates entities in here. So these are the out of the box entities that the system automatically creates. So for example, we created the user in here, which we could create a new user, all that sort of stuff. And then we've got teams, and then you can assign teams to users, and you can manage security of that and permissions of which entities and what they can create and read and update and all that sort of thing. But out of the box, it's created notes. If we have a look at notes, it created these sort of columns and inserted one row in there as an example. And then, for example, we could change this example message, ABC, save. And then we've got the audit trail showing what you change it from example message to this and when exactly we did that. We could go back using the navigation here, and we might want a new column in here. And that new column might be due date, so we'll add a custom field. And when I press create column, it's doing all the foreign key constraints and making entity and attribute tables and all that sort of stuff to manage that. And we can go back here, and you'll see that we have now a due date column. Then I can go here, and I can select the date, for example, and you'll see that the date picker is all themed with the site, so it's all written so that the user interface has the same consistent field. So we could press save on that, for example, and then you'll see that the due date was that, and now it's this. So what we might do is, we'll create an entity, because the whole idea of the system is you create custom entities, right? You don't use out-of-the-box entities that are just provided, you create custom entities. So for example, we might have a one called country, right? And we can put a category, we might put that under custom. And what we can do is we might want an icon of a world. Now what this is doing is this is getting searching the noun project for icons. And if you used CRM Dynamics for building entities or other entity creation tools, you have to find icons, and then the system gets very inconsistent because different icon sets are all over the place. But this uses a consistent database of 500,000 vector icons, which you can use their API, and then you can resize them and you get the vector of it, and you can color them and all that sort of stuff. So we'll go and select that as our icon. And then it's just created basic columns in here. I could create more columns and all that sort of stuff. I could also create a column that looks up to another field. We could go new country and enter all the countries manually, but it's probably easier if we just do an import. So we can import data. There's a full, so that's imported 203 records, just like that. And you can see that all the countries are imported in there. And we can obviously export to Excel, import it, and we can bring the data in and out. It also has an OData service layer, so it spins up like a web service when you create custom entities automatically, which you can have other scripts importing and other systems importing and exporting that data. So we could type, for example, AUS, and this filters automatically on here. We can see we've got Australia and Austria. Just to demo that, so what I've tried to do is try to build the back end quite solid. So if you go through, we might want to create another entity, right? So we could link these up. So we might have a list of website domains, right? So we'll call that domain. And then the icon will just say website. And we'll select, for example, that, and put the category and custom. And then we'll create a new one. So this is maybe domains or domain. So it's pretty much a list of website domains. And we can import this. So this is just to demonstrate the back end. So what we're going to do is we're going to import 100,000 rows. So this is live. This video isn't edited. It's recorded from start to finish, no editing. And it's currently importing 100,000 records. So I've used other vendor, which is just completed. I've used other vendor systems, and to import 250,000 records into another vendor system, not using this solution, using another solution, it was an overnight process because it's just not efficient. But I've tried to write the core really efficient and do things correct and the right way. So what it's doing here is it didn't just get that CSV file and then just copy it into a table. It got that CSV file, analyzed it, checked it against business constraints, which you can write, and then also managed a search index, inserted that into that search index, and previously before that, it also put it into an audit table. So, and then it copies it into another place for you to be able to, or another area, for it to be able to access from the application, from the presentation lab. So it does all of that, and it did that quite quick, and that's 100,000 records. And we have a look here, this is all the records that have been inserted and all that sort of thing. And we can filter, for example, and we can search for news, and we can sort it by ID, and we can see the most popular news domains with news in the domain. So this is just the data set I found and I've just imported. So what we can also do is we can, this search here, filters across all your entities you have on the side, right? And it doesn't do a full table scan. As mentioned, it builds up a search index in the background, and it uses that search index. So if we type, for example, Australia, you'll see straight away we've got Australia. We've got Australia the country and Australia the domain, because Australia is a country, and also there's a domain Australia, right? So you could imagine that if we just built that custom entity called country, right, and we could add custom fields, but it could have been a client or a customer. So if this was a CRM solution, and that was a client, for example, we could search it straight away, and then click on it, and it displays information right away, and we could ring them up, give them a call, and you could do that all very quickly. So you could see how you could rapidly build custom entities in there. And obviously, in addition to that, you can not just create fields on the entities, you can create relationships, whether it's a one-to-one or multiple entity relationship. If you have a look over here, for example, so this is a little debugging tool that I just wrote just to view the database schema. So you can see that this is the tables currently inside the database, and there's a lot of system tables to manage permissions and links and entity categories and imports and configuration. But if we have a look down at websites to find the domain, we'll find, so we called it domain, not websites. You can see that it automatically created by field which links to users, and a modified field which links to users, and it also has the title of the domain. And if we have a look at, for example, at notes, we'll see that we created a due date, and that's mapped in here. In addition to that, you can obviously change the logo in here. And for example, here's a logo. This is not affiliated with the app I'm building at all. It's just a random logo that I selected off the net. But if you press save, what it does is it runs a quick algorithm to analyze the colors in there, and then automatically themes the site to the logo. So you can see that it got the orange and the same blue that matches from there. And just to show that again. So here's a picture of my pet cat Chanel in a elf costume. And you can see that the hat is green and that is red. And you can see when I press save, it automatically reads this in here and automatically themes it to match the logo. So in summary, it's an entity builder. So it's basically an enterprise cloud solution which I'm working on. You may be wondering why I've sent this pitch, and surprisingly it's almost 9 minutes long, so I'm not sure if you're still watching, but if you are, basically I'm looking for a mentor. I think that would be really good. Obviously angel funding would also help, but I'm not really concerned about angel funding. I really would like the mentor, someone probably accessible in Adelaide. So if you know anyone that would be interested in developing this, not helping me drive this and grow this and make it into a good product. Obviously it needs a lot of polish and a lot of cleanup. So for example, all of these I'm moving into a separate page which you can build packages and all that sort of stuff from the entities. But it would be really good if there is a mentor, maybe in Adelaide. I'm from Adelaide. I'm in the city 5 days a week, so it makes sense. But also, if you know anyone else, maybe let me know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a happy new year. Thanks again. See ya.